Hello and welcome back this Sunday afternoon. I'm Sam and we are going to take a little flight in the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. Right now I am in little nav map, as you can see, and I have put in a flight from Aurora State, KUAO, which is just south of Portland, and we're going to fly up to Southwest Washington KKLS at Longview. This is via the Columbia River, basically running through the city, following my mouse. It then goes up past St. Helens, past Woodland, and then up here is Longview. There's actually a bridge up here at Longview where you can cross over into Oregon as well, if you're ever interested to know that. Columbia River then continues out to meet the Pacific Ocean out at Astoria. But today we're just going to take a short little trip up to KKLS. So I have plotted in a altitude of 1,500 feet because we're just going to kind of go through, we're just going to follow the Willamette River up until it meets the Columbia River and then follow that up, which should work. So we don't need to be really high here. It looks like our altitude, if we were just going straight across, we'd have some like a little bit of hills to take care of, but not a lot. As you can see, it's only about, 1,000 feet it looks like. So 1,500 feet we should be fine. Probably technically we should be up at 2,000 feet, but we're just going to go 1,500 feet. Let's switch over into Flight Sim and put this in. So we're going to go to World Map. We're going to go KUAO, and we're not going to do Newport, we're going to do KKLS. Southwest Washington Regional. That's going to be set as set as arrival, that's good. Let's check what we got runway wise here. Let's plan for, we're going to take off to the north from out of Aurora. We're going to go this way. And our runways are like that, so yeah, that'll look good. So the plan is that we're going to use a Cessna 172. It's 1:09 p.m., which is it's real time, and we're going to use live weather, which is what we want. Let's set that to live too, that should work. Live traffic, but we're not doing multiplayers. We're using a Cessna 172 with G1000 glass cockpit, because I'm deciding I like that a lot better than trying to navigate with steam gauges and VORs. So let's get this started loading. Hopefully the audio in this recording will work better. In the recording I did this morning flying up to the Dalles from Troutdale, the audio still was a little too muddied with the engine sounds. So with any luck, the engine sounds won't be as loud in this recording. While we're waiting here, loading here, I'll switch back to NavMap. I just started, actually installed NavMap last night, and so I hadn't actually used it before that. And actually I'm really liking this here. There's a lot of buttons though, and I was kind of like, oh my goodness, this is overwhelming. And so I think it's just more as in using what I can out of it, and over time learning its additional features. My understanding is you're supposed to be able to actually generate a flight plan in here, save it, and then actually load it into, export as MSFS PLN, and you can actually load it in here into Flight Simulator and use it. Essentially though, we're just going to basically take off from Aurora. The Willamette River is right there, so we're going to follow that and then follow it north up into Oregon City, Westland. Then it goes up past Lake Oswego and then Milwaukee, and then we're going to go into Portland. There's a bunch of bridges. We will see how badly these bridges look. Oh, and I just moved again because the plane loaded. Okay, so let's switch over. Once we get basically to Portland, we will then meet up with the Columbia River and then follow the Columbia River out into Kelso Longview. So let's switch over to the game here, because we are ready.
Eagle Sierra Alpha.
Let's take off my parking brake, and let's do full throttle. looking for about 50 knots, and then we will rotate at 50. So as you can see, there was overcast here earlier, at least up where I am, which is just north of this, and rotate. But it's actually cleared up quite suddenly here. So it looks really nice. I was thinking I wasn't going to be able to do live weather because of the weather was going to be, there was going to be too much cloud cover. But it cleared up. Yeah, this morning when flying in the Dalles, it was flying to the Dalles, it was really beautiful. Getting the sunrise and the clouds up in the gorge. So right below us, there's a highway, state highway. That's not me. There's a state highway that runs along the airport and then continues north, and then you can basically go up I-5. The interstate is right off my left wing, roughly here. Yeah. So it runs into I-5, and I-5 then continues north, straight up ahead into Wilsonville, and then goes into like Tigard, Tualatin, and up into Portland. We are not going to do that. We are going to turn at the river, which, as you can see, is right there. So let's turn here. One thing when you're doing an exterior view like this is it's very easy to like pitch up too much. So below us is some kind of housing development. There's like a golf course nearby, and so I think it's related to that. I think it's Chardonnay or Charbonneau. I think that's can be over there, up above basically right above my wing. Okay, so the plan is let's climb to about 2,000 feet and then level off. Ooh, some nice clouds over there. Yeah, I really like the clouds in this game. We're probably getting harping on the clouds a lot here, but it's like, wow. Start to pull back here because we're getting towards 2,000. And I'm going to reset the nose trim because by default it starts with a 5%. I need a little more fun, I guess. I'm just going to try and let the plane settle into what it wants to do, and then I'll adjust from there. I don't want to... I'm not a real pilot, so I may be doing this completely wrong, but I'm trying to basically just like, rather than trying to keep just coasting it back and forth, I just want to let it... It's going to do a little bit of rocking motion. I want to just let it do its rocking motion until it kind of just settles into something here. So if these clouds ahead of us... That's me. Acknowledge frequency change. And tune Portland approach. And we're just going to, instead of trying to follow that like that, we're just going to turn like this. And request flight following.
Portland approach Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha is type Cessna Skyhawk 3 miles northwest of Oscar Romeo 40. Request flight following.
So below us is Oregon 99, which is the state highway that runs along the Willamette River and goes north up into Oregon City, Milwaukee, and then up into Portland. And if you go south, it basically goes to Canby, and then that's where near Aurora, which is where the airport is, this airport. I'll radar contact. Oh, 3013 for an altimeter setting, oh my. I don't know how to change this on the G1000, so we're just going to change it here. 3013? My goodness. Overshot it. Now, if these clouds up here weren't in the way, we should be able to see Mount Hood. But, unfortunately, no, actually, no, there it is. It's off my wing right there. You can see, if I turn this here, it's right there. Okay, so we still have Oregon 99E on the south side of the river, right here. And then right here is I-205, which is also coming along the river right now, because it's now going to cross the river up here into Oregon City. So right below us is what's supposed to be the Oregon City Locks and Willamette Falls. And this is like downtown historic Oregon City. Oregon City being, of course, the end of the Oregon Trail. I wouldn't say that the falls and everything look great, at least. They actually look, I think, better than they used to in the game. So we have the historic bridge right below my tailwind here. Yeah, there's the historic bridge, which doesn't look great. And then we have the 205 Interstate Bridge, or the Glenn Jackson Memorial Bridge, I believe it is. And we gotta do another turn. Follow the river. We're gonna get there eventually. Okay, so now you see 99, that state highway, running up through Gladstone and basically Oak Grove, Milwaukee, unincorporated Clackamas County. Still just following the river. And I can even switch back over into a little nav map here, and you will see that we have... Why is that zoom acting wonky? There is my plane location. So I've been basically moving around. Now let's move back into the game. Okay, I've got myself basically leveled out at about 2,000 feet, so I'm not going to try and mess with it anymore, unless I really need to, because looks like I'm pretty stable right now. Once again, just acting all of those clouds. I really like the ones off there in the distance, how they look dark, like they're going to be like storm clouds, and those ones back there look good too. Yep. Pretty amazing. That, I think, is Lake Oswego right up over to our left wing, but the river runs to the right, so we're going to go this way. And now if you look off to the right, up in the distance, you can see Portland, specifically the downtown area. Below is a railroad bridge that runs across the Willamette. And up here, this should be Elk Rock Island, I believe. There was actually just a fire on there. You know, there's all these fires in the northwest. There was actually a fire on there too, during the midst of all this, but they got it under control. But right, from what I understand, the island is closed. Basically, with the tides, there's a pathway that's exposed at certain times at low tide, so you can actually walk over to the island from the mainland. But right now, the island's closed because of they needed to do cleanup, I guess, and probably make sure that trees aren't going to fall on people. So we're passing down to Milwaukee, and now this golf course right below us is the Waverly Country Club. And we are going to be passing the Selwood Bridge next. Selwood and Westmoreland area are right off to our right. And the Selwood Bridge is right off our left wing. Yeah, personally in this game I like to play with the general aviation planes, which is good because my understanding is the tube liners are kind of broken right now in the new version of Flight Simulator. And I just do VFR flying. I don't do IFR. So, and that's what right now at least is what's working really well. Or at least decently. I don't do autopilot. Evidently there's still parts of autopilot that are broken. And the G1000 simulation isn't great either. So this right off here to our right is Ross Island, which was they were mining like for sand. And so that's why the island is almost like a caldera of a volcano that collapsed or something. Now we are coming into Portland, and we have a lot of bridges here, and the bridges aren't great. It's almost like a wall. Each bridge is a wall. But considering, it's still really pretty crazy. Over there is the OHSU, the hospital, the big hospital, the university hospital. There's actually a plane over there. You can see it's a little where my cursor is. You can see the lights blinking. Oh, that's right. I can turn off my taxi lights here. So we are just going to follow the river. Here is I-5 again, right underneath us. So we could have followed I-5 when we took off from Aurora State and just followed it to here, but we didn't. I'd rather follow the river. So there's downtown Portland off to our left. We have the convention center right here, and right here, if I move a little bit, here we have the what used to be the Rose Garden is now the Moda Center. And then here's the old Memorial Coliseum, which is where the Trailblazers used to play. The railroad bridge right there. And then here's the Fremont Bridge right, we're passing, my plane is like blocking it. Hope that's one of the 405 bridges. Still just going north.
Portland departure Cessna November 54477 is climbing through 800 feet for 10,000 feet. Cessna November 54477 Portland departure continue as planned.
I guess I would have thought I had to hit something for doing the airspace transition. I don't know. I don't know. This is basically the north end of town where there's a lot of industrial, as you can see. Railroad tracks. You see in the satellite photographs, the trains. Really a lot of industrial on both sides of the river, I think. So yeah, actually if you go out here following this, there's Sylvie's Island. which is an island we go like picking apples in the past. They have like corn mazes out there. Yeah, that's not me, and I'm not climbing to 10,000 feet. That's the thing, it's like you hit IFR, and then it's like, bam, climb to 11,000 feet. I don't need to climb to 11,000 feet, I'm just going like, right for a short little hop. Seriously. So right above the right wing is the Columbia River, and so we are following the Willamette River, which is going to run into the Columbia River. And this is the St. John's neighborhood right here. So we are still just tootling around. Now, considering my computer specs, I'm really quite happy with how well it's performing. Yeah, that is not me. That'd be my Class C aerospace transition, I think.
Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Yeah, that's not me. There we go. So right here, actually above the plane, is, I believe, Sobeys Island. So we are just going to go this way. I guess I go and run into the Columbia River here. Oh, there's a Southwest plane right above us. Where is this plane? It's probably right on top of us, just about. Don't say this. Where's the little nav map is showing me a plane and I have no idea where it is. Oh well. Not down there. It's supposed to be about 7,000 feet in climbing. I don't see it. Well, it's probably out there somewhere. Let's reset my camera view here. So the Willamette River, if I remember correctly, is like one of only 2 rivers in the world that runs south to north. So yeah, Sobeys Island is basically like a lot of farms. There's like no gas station on the island. I think there's like one school, but essentially it's just a farming community, and really just north of the city. So we have a bank of clouds up ahead. Just taking another view back there. Oh, ain't that pretty? Ain't that pretty? So while we're sitting here, let's switch back to the nav map so you can see where we're at. We have a plane right here, and we're going along. We're going to go along here and go up to here. So we are on our way. some point, I really should like probably get into that soon. Oh, that's me. That's me.
124 decimal tree line for Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
Tune and contact.
Portland approach Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha 2,100 feet.
So I set my altimeter there. This changes the steam gauge's altimeter settings, and at least will fix the altimeter setting exterior. It doesn't change this altimeter, which is still in 2.992. Now the problem is, I'm not sure yet if the settings for the G1000 are actually like enabled to actually change that setting or not. I don't know, because right now the G1000 is still very limited, is my understanding from people talking on AV Sim forums. But this will at least fix it on the steam gauge, which then carries over to the altimeter outside the airplane. So, in the grand scheme of things, it works. I wish I'd like to fix this too, but for right now, at least, we gotta go with what we have. I'm gonna reset my camera view, and we are going to see if we can tune to the airport we're going to. That's Scappoose. Fly for fun. Oh, that sounds fun, doesn't it? Fly for fun. No, not yet. Airport's farther. Let's see. No, not Portland Hills. Bro. Oh, where is this airport? Portland Troutdale? No. Must still be too far away. I'll say Howlands. You know, I should try flying up there sometime. Oh, Southwest Washington Regional KKLS. There we go. Let's check our weather settings here.
Kilo Lima Sierra, automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind, calm. Visibility, tree. Sky condition, few clouds at 600 feet, few clouds at 4,300 feet, few clouds at 12,300 feet. Temperature, 12C dew point, 10C altimeter, tree 016.
Okay, so the altimeter settings at least is the same as what we have.
Kilo Lima Sierra,
Yeah, I get the idea. Okay, we're gonna come in on runway 30. Let's full stop landing and announce position.
Kilo Lima Sierra
23
traffic Cessna
miles.
Alpha 2 3 miles south 2,100 feet inbound to land runway tray 0.
Let's really quickly switch back over to the nav map here so we can find out where we're going. So, if we switch to the nav map, we can see we're going to KKLS. And if we hover over this, we should get some information here. So the airport's elevation is 18 feet, so essentially sea level. That's good to know. I'd rather know that now rather than like landing and be like, oh, I still gotta go like another 1,000 feet or something, and then wham! Right into the runway. I mean, that would be landing. But that's kind of like the whole with SpaceX. You don't want to have a rapid, unscheduled disassembly of your airplane. Switch back out here. Oh, so actually we have a plane right behind us now, so let's see if we can see this. It must be up above us. What's its altitude? Yeah, 9,000 feet roughly. Oh, so that's probably, there's a little dot, flashing light up there. Okay. So essentially, this is basically AI traffic. This isn't like live multiplayer. And specifically, this plane is a Alaska Airlines Flight 997. So, wonder where they're going. Yeah, and as you saw from the weather report, it looks like there's going to be clouds at 600 feet. So we're going to have to descend through a cloud layer. Hopefully we don't have like clouds like blocking our view of the runway and stuff when we're coming down. I mean, we're going to be using the artificial view here on the G1000. So I mean, it isn't the worst thing in the world to be landing in clouds, but it'd be nice to have a nice clear view of the runway, you know, when landing. It's amazing to think how far this has come. Yeah, that's not me. That's not me. When you think how 100 years ago, they're just navigating across the country by like following road maps, and then you got what, NDBs, non-directional beacons, and then you have VORs, and now you have like with GPS. It's just ridiculous how the technology has changed in just 100 years of flying. That is a beautiful cloud right there. So is that one. Very pretty. Some pretty clouds over there too. Yep. So this is St. Helens right here, according to my map. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. No, I mean, you could take this out, the Columbia River. You could follow this all the way out to the beach at Astoria. And I mean, there's also a road, US 30 runs along basically the Columbia River and goes out to Astoria. Now, normally when we go out to the beach, we go out to, like, say, Lincoln City, which so you have to take a different road out there, or you could go out US 26 out to Seaside. Seaside being, like, the traditional beach destination for people in Portland. Although we grew up going to Lincoln City. Some pretty clouds right there, too. Now, with the latest update, I know people were saying is they've added lightning, and people on the forum were noticing that you appeared to have, even with very little clouds, it could like start generating these lightning storms. I haven't seen that yet. I haven't played a lot since the latest patch came out though. I'm on 1.9.3, which is the latest version. I haven't seen lightning yet. We don't normally get like lightning here in Portland, so I don't know. There must be some way it determines when it's going to add lightning or not, because other people said they were playing with cloud cover and there wasn't lightning. But then other people said, oh, I only had like a little bit of clouds and it was like full-on lightning storm. Which would be something to see. I'm going to try and get a little bit below these clouds here, so we're going to pull back on the throttle. Try and descend to get below these clouds. I don't think I'm going to run into anything, especially with I guess I don't run into terrain with this, and I have so I can see planes in my little nav map. But I'm just going to punch through these clouds like VFR. What is VFR? I just do whatever I want. I don't need no stinking IFR rating. Yeah, I'm not a pilot, so don't take what I say and just do it in like real life if you're flying a plane. Because that could be disastrous. Now we're going to be coming up to Kalama here on the right, which is on the Washington side of the river. Still trying to descend here. Push down a little bit on the wing. Pitch down. Just a wee bit. Because I want to get below these clouds. Well, once more into the breach. look like a mountain hiding in here. Well, we don't. Just and it's like to think that, like, I mean, there must have been times when the pilots back in the day had to fly through cloud cover, even though you didn't know if you're gonna run into something. How low is this cloud cover? Because we're almost to 1,000. We're about 1,000 feet right now. Oh, we're still 1,300 feet actually with the altimeter setting. So my G1000 is showing 1,000 feet, but that's because of the wrong altimeter setting. So we're just flying along here. This appears to be very low cloud cover. Very low cloud cover. Had a momentary interruption there, so we had a little break. Yes, these clouds are low because we're going to 900 feet. I'm going to be like going at 500 feet just trying to get out of these clouds. Which I don't really know that I want to be flying that low. I mean, yes, the water's at sea level. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Just going to kind of chillax here at this altitude and see what happens. So we got basically this nice, whatever they call this cloud layer. What, you expected me to know what these clouds are called? And I realize I'm using the wrong source. Let's switch back to the game. So I need a little bit more throttle here because I am losing altitude. I need to adjust that audio setting. Okay. Announce our position again. Okay, so we are 7 miles away. So if we switch back over here to the nav map really fast, we see that the airport is up right here. I'm right here. The runway is going this way, so I need to start going this, so like go off to the right here, so then I can come in and straighten out and land. So we're gonna do that. So let's switch back to the flight sim. Now you can see I-5 right along here. I-5 runs basically up to the Canadian border. We're not going to Canada today. If we've seen a sign saying welcome to Canada, we've gone too far. Okay. We are going to land. Almost there. Let's see if I can see where the runway is.
Kilo Lima Sierra traffic says the Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha is on final runway 30 to land.
Now looking at my map, compared to the G1000 app. So the runway is right here, it looks like. So I need to start pulling back. I'm not going to see the runway numbers here, so we're just going to have to kind of eyeball this based on what we see here on the artificial view. And specifically, let's pull back on the throttle. Like, to 0. Pull back. Okay, so what's our altitude right now? About 800 feet. Okay, so we can see some lights from the airport above our nose. Lights are good. Gonna deploy some flaps. Okay, we can see the runway threshold. So let's do this. We are going in. I want to line up the runway above the G1000 screen. This isn't like flying a car. We want to line. Yeah. Talk about trying to drive a car and you've been flying more than you've been driving, and then you're like, I'm over too close to the right lane, or the right on the lane. Okay. Okay. Almost there. So let's start flaring. A little over to the right, it's too far, but we're just going to go with it. And set down. I'm going to switch views out here so I can, I'm going to kick back up some throttle here so I can get off the runway. The rudder controls are really wonky, so if you see me like darting all over the runway, I'm going to blame the rudder sensitivity. I just use my keyboard, I don't have any rudder pedals. Oh, wrong way, wrong way. Come on, come on. Let's go. Come on. Like, see if I let you drive an airplane. Let's go. Been off all day. Now it's clear runway.
Kilo Lima Sierra traffic says the Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha is clear of the runway.
And then I'm just gonna go find a spot and then just kind of just drop the vehicle, drop it there. Trying to actually, like, you know, get it in the right exact spot for a parking spot. Yeah, not my strong point. Just saying that right now. This is called, we are going to call this a parking spot right there. And set the parking brake and turn off the engine. And there is a flight from Aurora State to Southwest Regional, Southwest Washington Regional. Let's turn off the master. And there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope this did not scare you by my incompetent flying, and I will see you later.